Love story set in California. California has a way of pretending everything is eternal. The sun rises without asking permission. The ocean keeps breathing, wave after wave, as if nothing could ever interrupt its rhythm. People come and go, chasing dreams, losing them, finding new ones. And somewhere between the palm trees and the endless highways, two people can meet and believe, truly believe, that nothing bad could ever happen to them. That's what Ethan Miller believed. And that's what Claire Anderson believed too. Chapter 1. The Day the Wind Changed. Ethan first saw Claire on a windy afternoon in Santa Cruz. He was standing near the edge of the pier, holding a paper cup of coffee that had already gone cold. He had moved to California 6 months earlier, leaving behind a small town in Oregon, a failed engagement, and a life that felt too tight around his chest. California was supposed to be freedom. Claire was standing a few feet away from him, struggling to keep her long blonde hair from whipping into her face. She laughed softly as the wind stole her hat and sent it rolling across the wooden planks of the pier. Without thinking, Ethan ran after it. He caught the hat just before it reached the edge, his heart pounding for no real reason. When he turned back, Claire was staring at him with wide blue eyes and a smile that felt too warm for a stranger. "Wow," she said, "you just saved my hat's life." Ethan smiled. It was a close call. She walked closer, took the hat from his hands, and for a moment, their fingers touched. It was brief, accidental, and somehow unforgettable. "I'm Claire," she said. "Ethan." They stood there awkwardly, the ocean roaring below them, neither of them ready to walk away. That afternoon turned into coffee at a small cafe near the beach. Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into a walk along the shoreline as the sun dipped into the Pacific, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope. Chapter 2. Learning each other slowly. Claire was a photographer. She worked freelance, chasing light, moments, and stories. She loved early mornings, black and white photos, and silence that didn't feel empty. Ethan was an architect. He designed spaces meant to hold lives: houses, community centers, libraries. He believed buildings should feel like people belonged inside them. They were different, but in ways that fit. They spent weekends exploring California together. Big Sur cliffs, hidden beaches near Half Moon Bay, long drives through redwood forests where sunlight filtered through ancient trees like something sacred. They talked about everything. Claire told him about losing her mother when she was 19, how it made her afraid of loving anything too deeply. Ethan told her about his broken engagement, how he had been afraid to stay and equally afraid to leave. At night, they lay on Claire's apartment floor, windows open, listening to the distant sound of traffic and waves, imagining futures neither of them had dared to imagine before. "I don't want perfect," Claire said once, tracing circles on Ethan's chest. "I just want real." Ethan kissed her forehead. Then we're already there. Chapter 3. The First Promise. 6 months into their relationship, Ethan took Claire back to the Santa Cruz pier. The same wind, the same ocean, different people. He led her to the edge where the waves crashed loudly below them. His hands were shaking. "I know this might be fast," he said, but I've spent my whole life being afraid of choosing something. Period. Claire felt her heart tighten. Period. And I'm not afraid anymore, Ethan continued. Not with you. Period. He didn't propose. Not yet. Instead, he made a promise. No matter what happens, he said, looking directly into her eyes, I choose you, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Claire swallowed, tears filling her eyes. I choose you too. Neither of them knew how much those words would soon be tested. Chapter 4. The Day Everything Broke. The call came on a Tuesday morning. Claire was editing photos when her phone rang. The number was unfamiliar. Her stomach twisted before she even answered. Is this Claire Anderson? The voice asked. Wait, came down. The number's unfamiliar. Time slowed. There's been an accident. Ethan had been driving south on Highway 1, heading to a site visit near Big Sur. A truck lost control on a sharp curve. Ethan swerved to avoid it. His car went over the edge. Claire arrived at the hospital hours later, her hands numb, her thoughts scattered. The doctor spoke gently, carefully. Severe spinal injury, he said. We did everything we could. Claire barely heard the rest. Ethan was alive, but he would never walk again. Chapter 5. Love in a Hospital Room. Ethan woke up 2 days later. Claire was sitting beside his bed, holding his hand so tightly her fingers hurt. When he opened his eyes, relief flooded her body so violently she had to bite her lip to keep from sobbing. Hey, he whispered. She leaned down, pressing her forehead against his. Hey. The weeks that followed were heavy. Pain, physical therapy, silent nights. Ethan tried to be strong, but Claire saw the cracks. She saw the way he stared at his legs, willing them to move. She saw the frustration, the anger, the shame he tried to hide. One night, he finally broke. You didn't sign up for this, he said, his voice raw. You should leave. Claire stood up slowly, walked around the bed, and looked him straight in the eyes. I chose you, she said. Remember? Tears slid down Ethan's face. So don't decide for me. Chapter 6. The Distance That Hurt More Than the Injury. After Ethan was released from the hospital, everything changed. Simple things became complicated. Stairs, showers, sidewalks. Ethan pushed Claire away without meaning to. He hated being helped, hated feeling like a burden. Claire tried to stay strong, but exhaustion crept in. They argued about nothing, about everything. One night, after a particularly hard day, Ethan said something he couldn't take back. You deserve someone whole. Claire froze. I am still me, he added quickly. But you shouldn't have to live like this. She packed a bag and left. Not because she wanted to, but because she was afraid they were destroying each other. Chapter 7. The Loneliest Year. They spent nearly a year apart. Claire threw herself into work, traveling across California for photography projects. Her photos became darker, deeper, full of longing. Ethan focused on rehabilitation. He learned how to live again, how to accept help, how to forgive himself. He followed Claire's work online, never missing a single post. She followed his progress through mutual friends. Neither of them stopped loving the other. They were just afraid. Chapter 8. The Letter. On the anniversary of the accident, Claire received a letter, handwritten, from Ethan. He wrote about fear, about pride, about learning that love wasn't about being perfect, but about staying. I still choose you, the letter ended. If you still choose me, Meet me where the ocean learned our names. Santa Cruz Pier. Chapter 9. Choosing Again. Claire stood at the pier, heart pounding, when she saw Ethan waiting for her in his wheelchair, the ocean behind him. She started crying before she even reached him. "I'm sorry," he said. "So am I," she whispered. They didn't need more words. They had already survived the worst. Chapter 10. A different kind of forever. They didn't pretend life would be easy, but they built something honest. Ethan designed accessible homes that changed lives. Claire documented real love, imperfect, resilient, beautiful. 2 years later, at sunset, on the same pier, Ethan proposed. Second, Claire said yes before he even finished. California watched quietly. The ocean kept breathing. And love, real love, stayed. The end.